He's kinda cheap and people think he's a freak. It's the Frugal Freak Podcast. I'm Bradley and welcome to the Frugal Freak Podcast, where I'm considered a freak in this stupid society because I actually like to save my money. I think overconsumption sucks. And just save your money and shut up. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Frugal Freak Podcast. I am Bradley on a budget. I share my frugal lifestyle where I used to be in $130,000 of student loan debt before I was 21 years old. I thought my life was over and I dedicated the past 12 years of my life to living extremely frugal, which the internet thinks I'm absolutely insane for, but it worked out for me. And now I like to use my story and what I learned from digging myself out of debt to help others dig themselves out of debt, save your money, and find financial freedom. I am full of fun facts in this life. One fun fact I could give you is that I made $25 last year from selling a penny. I found a penny on the ground and it looked very unique, so I listed it for $50 and I ended up selling it for $25. Another fun fact that so many people don't realize is in 2024, I was on the Dr. Phil show. I can't even say it without laughing because it's just like the most fucking insane thing that like ever happened to me. But yes, I was on the Dr. Phil show and so many of you guys requested for me to do like a reaction video to the episode that I was on and also just kind of share the entire experience. So that's what today's episode is going to be. I hope you are so excited for it. I'm so excited to have you here. I appreciate your love and support. I was gonna say feel free to like the video, but you haven't watched it yet, so stop! I'm not gonna beg you for a like when you haven't even watched it yet. So anyways, you guys know for the first like 10 to 15 minutes of my podcast episodes, I love to just like chit chat with you guys, talk about life, what's going on, catch up. But I feel like I have so much to talk about of this whole Dr. Phil experience that I think I'm just gonna jump right into it. But at the very least, I just hope you guys are doing well. And I've been kind of going through it lately, but I have taken a week off from posting content and even making content, honestly. I haven't taken a week off of this content creating social media life in like years. Like I've been posting on TikTok for over 6 years now, and I don't think I've ever skipped a whole week. It's crazy. So it's been really good though, and I guess I feel pretty refreshed and ready to like jump back into it. But I always love being here on YouTube and live streaming with you guys and whatnot. Also, sorry that this is like literally my setup. I pride myself in being a content creator who just like, I just keep it simple, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's like the 33-year-old in me where I just like, I don't know. What am I going to do? Screen record this and put it on the screen? I don't know. Like, I know there's like high-tech content creators. That's kind of not me. I just try to keep this shit simple. So I don't know what, like literally look at this setup. I love it, but I'll make sure the volume's all the way up for you guys. So let's begin. So how the hell did I end up on the Dr. Phil show? Can I just say too, they better not copyright strike this shit. I will be pissed if they copyright this shit. Like I'm literally in this episode, so they better not. I'll be so mad. So how the hell did I end up on the Dr. Phil show? You are not going to believe it. It's actually so... It's not how you would expect. So 4 years ago, which literally like on the day I'm filming this today, which is so full circle, I shared my student loan story 4 years ago. And I'm a pretty open book. I'm sure you guys know that by now. Literally like I show most of my life. And the one thing I was so embarrassed to talk about was my student loan debt. 4 or 5 years ago when I was creating content on TikTok, like I just kind of I've always carried this shame of having 6 figures of student loan debt. It made me feel so stupid. It made me feel like a loser. It made me feel like I should have known better. In my 20s and walking through the world, I really didn't tell a lot of people about my student loan debt. It's something I really just kept to myself. And I did the same thing when I started creating content on TikTok. I was embarrassed. And I posted a video that then led to me posting my student loan story. And when I posted my student loan story, which again, it's the 4-year anniversary like today of me filming this, so I can't believe any of this. But when I posted my student loan story, I was like, you know, maybe some people will watch it, some people will care, and we'll just move on. I posted the video and it got like 500,000 views in a day, which 4 years ago on TikTok was like, in my opinion, a pretty big deal. And I was not a big creator. I had like 60,000 followers at that time. I was like, oh my God, this is kind of crazy. But then let me tell you the real story. My video actually got like shadow banned. I never talk about this because I used the S word. You could probably figure out what I mean by the S word. And my video like hit a wall. Like it reached all those views and then it completely stopped getting views. So I was like, what the hell? So I decided to screen record my student loan story. I took out the S word and I re-uploaded it. The second time I uploaded my story without the S word, that really went viral. Within a month, I think it got over like 2 million views, and I couldn't believe it was happening to me. I never thought me sharing my student loan story, really anyone would listen. I really did not think anyone would care, let alone me posting it and it getting millions of views. So many people were messaging me saying how my story connected with them or how my story helped them not feel so alone. I never had any goals or dreams, but the one thing I dreamed in my life was to be able to use my student loan story to help someone, to help make a difference, to help someone not feel alone, to help someone prevent someone from doing what I did. And I just kind of took a leap of faith and I decided to film my story and I uploaded it, and the rest is kind of history. It kind of changed my life. Funny enough, I got a message in my DMs on TikTok from a producer on the Dr. Phil show. And of course I didn't believe it. I thought it was made up or whatever, but I connected the name of the producer and their contact info to, I think I found like their LinkedIn page online. And I just kind of took this leap of faith to believe that it was the real person. So I reached out to them and we had like a video call, and it was like shortly after that, I found out I was going to be on the show, that I was selected to be on this episode of the Dr. Phil show, which, if you can tell, was about student loan forgiveness specifically. From finding out I was selected to be on the Dr. Phil show, I was then on the show like less than 2 weeks later. It moved so fast, I couldn't believe it. It's not like they reached out to me and wanted me on the show and then it was like 3 to 4 months out. Like, I found out and then had to get everything sorted out like in less than 2 weeks. And leading up to the show, I was like on the phone with a new person every day, like one person coordinating the travel, one person asking me these questions, one person doing like mental health evaluations and asking those kinds of questions. And it was nuts. I couldn't believe all of this was happening and so fast. And let me just say too, I know a lot of people don't like Dr. Phil. I totally understand that. This felt like the one chance in my life that I could, I guess, be on TV, but not even just to be on TV. Wasn't I on TV before? What was I on TV before? It felt like the only chance at that time that I had to like really share my story and to get my story out there. Like, I don't really care what show I was going to be on. I always wanted an opportunity to be able to share my story. Literally me from my 20s who dreamed of getting to share my story and getting my story out there. This just felt like an opportunity I couldn't give up. So anyways, I thought I was going to LA, but no. I was really excited. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a Los Angeles girl for like 48 hours, but no. They filmed the show down in Texas. So it was crazy. I got like a 5 a.m. flight. I landed in Texas a few hours later. They brought me right to the studio, and that's where we filmed all like the pre-segment stuff. So like my pre-segment interview, you'll see that there's clips of me like in the street. I don't know how to explain it, but you'll see it. So we did all that. Like, I went from flight, oh my God, it's like that Lady Gaga thing. Bus, another club, train, bus, another club. Like, that was me for 48 hours. Like, I got on the plane, I landed in Texas, they brought me right to the studio. They had a car pick me up. Oh my God, it was like so fancy, I couldn't believe it. Went to the studio, filmed everything, went to the hotel that they booked, and then filming for the episode was the next day. It was like the craziest rush. Also, I'm sure, before I forget, because I'm sure so many people are going to ask, was I paid to be on the show? I was not paid to be on the show. A lot of people get upset when I say I was not paid to be on the show, but again, this just felt like such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For one, to be on TV, but also, like, I grew up watching Dr. Phil. I mean, who the fuck is a millennial who didn't get home from, like, high school and would, like, see an episode of Dr. Phil on TV? Like, The whole thing just felt like such an iconic moment, on top of the topic being something I was so passionate about and wanting to get my story out there, that, you know, they covered the flight, they covered the hotel, they gave a food voucher, like all of that was covered. So honestly, it's like, wasn't really losing any money, just didn't make any money to be on the show. And honestly, I really don't care. I was so fucking nervous. Never done something like this before. I've never done anything in front of like a live audience like this. It's so crazy how it's like, this is the life that I wanted for myself, but I'm not built for this life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not built to be on the news. I'm not built to like be on a talk show in front of a live audience and all that. But it's like, it's all at the same time, it's like, it's the life I wanted. You know what I mean? So I got to the studio on the day of filming at like literally 6 a.m. I was up so early to get there. They do hair, makeup, they like double check your outfit because they're very picky with like colors and stuff. They gave us a little breakfast and oh my god, wait, shut the fuck up. I'm so glad I remember this. I know you're gonna call me mentally ill. I don't care. Shut up! I still to this day have the container that they served breakfast in when I was on the show. I know that sounds so fucking insane, but when I saw it, I know it's disgusting. Just please let me live my life. I don't care. Anyways, this is what the breakfast came in, and you know, I'm kind of insane. And the way my brain worked was, oh my god, this would be great for like putting chicken in here, or when I travel to New York City, I could put my eggs in here, because you guys know, whenever I travel with food. So yes, I literally still have, oh my god, I'm so glad I remembered that. So iconic. There were 4 guests on the show, and they wanted to keep everyone kind of separate from each other, so we all just kind of hung out in our dressing rooms until we went out. And I wasn't aware of how we were going to like go out. I literally thought, I was so terrified. I literally thought like, we would stay backstage until it was our turn to go on. But something that the show did that I actually really, really love and appreciated is they put us, like the guests who are on the show, into the audience. So like that was really good for my anxiety because I feel like I got to acclimate to the audience. I got to acclimate to the setting I was in. Because all this time I thought they were literally going to keep me trapped in the dressing room until it was my time to go out. And like, dude, that would have been anxiety overload for me to like walk out onto the stage into a live audience, Dr. Phil sitting right there. So I really like that they allowed us to like acclimate to the whole setting. It was so good for me. So I guess we could just jump right in. I will say how fucking iconic that I am the thumbnail for the episode that they uploaded to YouTube. I love it. I love it so much. So, oh my god. So I guess without further ado, we're gonna watch my episode of the Dr. Phil show. So, and shut up! I don't want to keep interrupting the episode, so I figure we'll just watch it together. We'll watch my segment. We're not going to watch the whole thing. Obviously, my segment's the only one that matters. And maybe we could talk about it. I just don't want every, like, 5 seconds where I'm stopping and so hopefully you guys like that, but...
Well, you know, tonight's topic can be summed up in 5 words. Should student loans be forgiven?
So dramatic. I was right there. You can see me right there.
Really? 5 words that have divided many and sparked outrage and even protest at the foot of the Supreme Court. Now, many see forgiveness as another government handout of free money with zero accountability and leaving the American taxpayer footing the bill. They see it as a slap in the face to all those who worked to never have debt of their own, as well as those who never attended college themselves. My next guest, Bradley, says he has $147,000 in student loan debt and says there have been times where the stress of the payments have destroyed his life.
There was a version of me before my student loan debt and after my student loan debt. I never got back to myself after falling into this situation. I got my first loan at the age of 17 when I started culinary school. Before my 21st birthday, I was in over $130,000 of student loan debt. My student loan payment is $915. I paid in full every month.
I hated my hair.
In order to make my monthly payment...
so sloppy. Why did they let me do that?
I do work at a nonprofit teaching financial literacy. I work on a crisis hotline, I do dog sitting, I clean houses. There's kind of almost nothing I'm not willing to do just to be able to earn money to try to make my situation better. I've paid about $70,000 towards my student loan debt, and it's only increased. I still owe more now than when I originally started paying 10 years ago. To be so young in so much debt after everyone encouraged you to go to college and to get your degree, it was the worst decision I could have made. It got so bad to the point where I felt like the only way this problem is going to go away is if I go away. And I really thought at one point when it was at its worst that that would be the only solution.
Well, Bradley, thanks for being here. You say that taking out your loans for college is one of the biggest regrets of your life.
To this day, still is the biggest regret of my life. I was 17 years old and a senior in high school, and I knew I wanted to go to culinary school. And I thought, if I want to be the best and have the best future, I should go to the best school. And it was the top culinary school in America. And I have lived with this for the past 10 years of my life. And the last thing that this degree has done was pay off immediately.
And you say it's destroyed your mental health.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I did everything right to set myself up for success in my future, only to realize getting my college degree absolutely destroyed any future that I thought that I had for myself. And it wasn't until a week before graduation that they set up an exit interview through the school, and they sat me down and said, okay, congratulations, your student loan payment's going to be $1,400 a month. And there was no conversation beforehand. When you take out the loans, no one gave any financial education to explain this is what interest means, this is what compounding interest means. I know.
But at 17, you didn't understand all of that.
Who does? I know adults who don't even have a budget because they don't know how to. So we're relying on teenagers to understand what all of this means.
And you say you've been living like you're mentally homeless. You haven't purchased clothes, holes in your shoes.
Yeah, it could be embarrassing for folks. I'm very proud to say that I am wearing the shoes that I've had since 2012. They do have holes in them, and it represents what I dedicated my life to. Because even though I took on this student loan debt, not really realizing the mess I was making and hoping that my degree was going to pay off, I made the sacrifices to live this way, to try to turn my...
Have you ever missed a payment?
No, I've made my payments in full on time, but because of the high interest and it compounds daily, every time I make that payment, by the time it's ready to make my next payment, it grew back. So I'm doing everything by the book. I'm working hard, I'm making my payments full, I'm making them on time, but the system is set up to keep you in the system. It's not set up for you to succeed.
Okay, so you borrowed about 130, you've paid in 70.
Yes.
And you still owe how much?
$147,000 to this day.
Okay, but when you got out, did you get a job in your profession?
Yes. Yeah.
How much were you being paid an hour?
That job, I believe, was $12 an hour. I lived this way with holes in my shoes because I wanted to save every dollar I could to try to make my situation better, because no one was going to help me. You can't just return your college degree. Once you got it, you got it.
So the return on investment wasn't there.
No, and it's so frustrating that people say, well, why did you do it? Well, how about you look at the culinary school's website that says not only will it pay off immediately, but getting this degree is going to potentially earn you much more than other culinary.
Well, if it was on the website, it has to be true.
But that's the predatory part, that they're selling the dream, but you bought the lie.
So the question is, should student loans...
That was basically it. I probably should make a t-shirt that says, they sold the dream, you bought the lie. Isn't that so iconic? I literally thought of that in the moment. It was really good. That was the main portion of my segment. There was then 2 other people who were against student loan forgiveness. And then at the end, there was a debate. And if you watch me in the debate, I don't say a fucking word, because I was I said my story, I said my piece, I got accomplished what I wanted to accomplish being here for. Y'all can hash it out amongst each other. I'm not interested. Will also say too, I went onto this show knowing it was about student loan forgiveness, but never really actually agreed with full-fledged across the board student loan forgiveness, because for me, I'm a very solution-based person, and to just eliminate student loan debt that already exists doesn't eliminate the problem of how we got into this student loan nightmare. And that is what I am focused on. I am more focused on overhauling the student loan system. Colleges should not be charging as much as they are. Student loan servicers should not be charging 8% interest that compounds daily. I've always said if we were to just completely forgive all the student loan forgiveness that exists, there's going to be someone in the next generation who's going to be the next me, who's misguided by colleges, misguided by the system, doesn't have parents looking out for them, and ends up in a similar mess that I did. And I don't want that for anyone, which is why I do all of this. I went into filming this actually being kind of more neutral. I do believe student loan forgiveness should exist in the programs that already exist. So like the public servant loan forgiveness program, or things like having your student loans forgiven if you become permanently disabled. Like those things set in place, which have been set in place for a long time now, I do support, but I did not support just having student loan debt just completely wiped out because it doesn't wipe out what the problem is. I did genuinely get emotional because when you're sitting on stage, you're watching the little like video that they showed before it was my segment, and I just couldn't believe I was sitting on that fucking stage a couple feet away from Dr. Phil in front of this live studio audience about to share my student loan story when like literally me 10 years ago did not ever think in a moment in my life I would ever be able to get to the point where I could get my story out there and share my story and help people. This heavy wave of emotion came over me, but I was like, oh my God, I cannot start my segment with like crying. So you probably noticed I looked a little emotional, and I actually did get emotional. I will say too, when I watched this episode, when it went live on May 1st of 2024. So it's been out for almost 2 years now. This whole experience was about, actually, I think I filmed the episode around this time 2 years ago. So it's crazy that this whole thing has been like almost 2 years. But I remember when I watched this, there was a handful of things that they cut from my segment that I remember he asked me or we talked about. But I do feel like overall, I remember when this went live and my budget baddies, you guys were watching this, so many people were like, I'm so proud of you. You did such a good job. Like, I'm the type of person, I remember when I finished my segment, I was like, you fucking did it. What you just watched, I did not think I was capable of. My biggest fear, my two biggest fears when I was going to go out onto the stage was, for one, I was going to fucking freeze. The morning of filming this episode, I was like, what if I go out and it's my turn? Because the producer was like, after Dr. Phil says this is when you start talking. And I just kept thinking to myself, he's going to say his line and I'm just going to be like, I was terrified of freezing. Another thing I was terrified of was I say a lot. I'm a very like and let me tell you, I know a lot of this got cut and edited and whatnot. I didn't have one moment of being like I just spoke. And honestly, maybe it's because because my student loan debt has been on my mind for like over 10 years. I just kind of like knew what I felt and I knew how to talk about it very like articulately. I just remember finishing filming my segment and I sat there just being like, you just fucking did that. Like, you literally just in front of a live audience with these big cameras and Dr. Phil sitting like 5 to 10 feet away from you, and you just did that. I couldn't believe it. When we finished filming and we went backstage, we stood around maybe for like 5 minutes or so, and then Dr. Phil came backstage and all of us got to take an individual photo with him, and we got to like speak to him for like 15 seconds. Like, it was pretty quick, but I'm trying to look for the photo, so I'm not ignoring you guys. I just want to see if I could find it. This was me getting my hair and makeup done on the day of filming. When we got there on the day of filming, all of our dressing rooms had our name on it. I think I still have, I totally still have, like, I kept all this stuff because this was such a special moment for me. And this was the photo I got with Dr. Phil. So I would say it turned out pretty good. I think they airbrushed him. he definitely looked airbrushed, but met with Dr. Phil one-on-one. So we didn't meet him before the show. I didn't see him, nothing. I just spoke with producers before the show, but after the show, when we met backstage and we had our little photo op, he, just said a little something to everyone before taking the photo, and he was like, thank you for being on the show. You did such a great job. And like, your story's helping a lot of people, and I'm glad that you're in a better place. And I was like, oh, thanks. I appreciate it. But I thanked him for having an episode talking about student loan debt, because I just feel like the more exposure there is to talking about student loan debt, the more people we could possibly help avoid ending up in situations and stories like mine. So, and then I actually ended up staying in Dallas, Texas for like 3 more days, because obviously being frugal, if they were paying for my flight, I kind of turned it into a trip. So it was like a little celebratory trip after finishing filming for the show. I actually met some supporters while I was down in Dallas, which was really cool. But I think that's it. That was my experience on the Dr. Phil show. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever think something like that would ever happen to me. Like, I don't care how big of a creator I ever become, I'll never believe anything like this happens to me. I think at the time of filming this, I maybe had like 150,000 followers on TikTok at that point, which is crazy because now I'm at 1.5 million like 2 years later. I definitely was like a much smaller creator back then, but even today, if something like this was to happen to me today, I wouldn't believe it would happen to me. That's it. I don't know. If you guys have any questions of maybe something I didn't cover, or you're curious more about the experience, you could leave a question in the comment section and I will try to respond to any of them. But if you made it to the end of the video, I am so grateful and really appreciate your support as always. You know, if you made it to the end of the video, I always like for you to say something like in the comment section, just so I know you made it to the end of the video. So what should I say? I don't know. I don't want it to come off as conceited, but maybe if you made it to the end of the video, put in the comment section, superstar baddie, because I can't think of anything else for you guys to say right now. If you made it to the end of the video, put in the comment section, superstar baddie, so I know you made it to the end. But that is another episode of the Frugal Freak podcast. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're not, what are you doing? So if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to join the Budget Baddie family, where we are the normal people in society who don't think overconsumption and wasting your money is cool or fun. It's actually stupid. So I guess that's it. I love you guys. Bye.